It is a hot sun-filled day, typical for the Gambia, where temperatures frequently reach 30 to 32 degrees Celsius, and climate stress is a daily reality. The Notre Dame Global Adaptation Initiative ranks the Gambia 151st in climate change readiness, pointing to limited capacity to respond to climate shocks. Yet, young Gambians are stepping up with climate change initiatives.
What we do with communities is to work with them on dryland and wetland trees, especially indigenous trees, how to restore them, and of course on wetlands, especially mangroves.
Many of these efforts, however, depend heavily on external funding, with adaptation finance needs of developing countries estimated at over $310 billion per year by 2035. Questions are now emerging about sustainability, particularly after US climate financing was cut, just as organizations like Great Green Wall Gambia were preparing to scale up their work.
It was a very big disappointment. It caused a lot of chaos for the community, but also for us, which is why we should not wait for cases like this to happen. And organizations should be encouraged or are encouraged to be more self-reliant.
And for this group of young debaters, climate change is deeply personal. Beyond raising awareness, they are committed to volunteering and taking practical action, driven by a firm belief that even small efforts can make a big difference in tackling climate change.
This is evidence that even without support, we can do something. We can get something done, because at the end of the day, it is not the responsibility of anybody to come and save us from the dangers of climate change. The flooding that happened last year, it did not spare anybody, because all of us felt the bite. Even rainfall itself, the pattern has changed. Other people are also telling you the amount of heat that we feel right now is different from the one we used to feel.
The Gambia is a signatory to the Paris Agreement, which it joined in April 2016, and has outlined an ambitious path towards net zero emissions by 2050 through its long-term climate-neutral development strategy. But as global climate financing tightens, experts warn that countries like the Gambia may face growing pressure to meet those goals without consistent international support.
It's going to be nearly impossible to achieve those without funding. I am a self-claimed retired climate change negotiator for 7 years. I know how it is, how frustrating it is if you don't have funds. The next option would be, how can the Gambia, especially NGOs and other institutions, come up with funding from some other sources in order to continue with or without funding from the United States.
Despite being one of Africa's smallest and most vulnerable nations, the Gambia has gained international recognition for its climate ambition. As external funding becomes less predictable, the country's youth-led climate movement now stands at the center of whether ambition can translate into lasting resilience. Lena E. Gwenyuba, CGTN Banjul.